Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Tom's back from the SHOT Show with info on new guns and cool products, plus dissecting the anti-gun narrative and more. Call in now with your questions, comments, and range reports at 866-TALK-GUN. And now, here's Tom Gresham.
Oh, yeah, I survived Las Vegas at the SHOT Show, but barely. I went limping in there at about 50% and actually got better as the show went on. But it's no place to play hurt, I got to tell you. Speaking of playing hurt, but be sure to do your stretches right now. Jim and I are just doing our exercise. Didn't want to pull a hammy, right before the Super Bowl here. Hey, by the way, I'm Tom Gresham, and it's Gun Talk. We're going to be talking about, everything. Guns, ammo, holsters, concealed carry, right to carry, Second Amendment. Are there too many guns in America? Do you own too many guns? Because, honestly, for a lot of people, you've probably had this happen, and when they say, how many guns do you own? What they're thinking is, well, it's probably too many. So what's the right number? What is the right number? And I guess maybe, how would you answer that, I guess is the first question. Have you ever been asked, how many guns do you own? And then question number 2 would be, how did you answer that? That would be the follow-up on that. And then I'd be real tempted to say, well, I'm not sure. Is there a right number that people should own? What is that number? I mean, and look, I understand. For the gun ban groups, gun ban industry out there, the right number is 0. There should be no guns in America. And make no mistake, that is their goal, of course. By the way, I had a friend write me recently. He said, he's got this young woman in his family. He talks with her. She's in her 20s. And she's earnest about wanting to do something about crime and about murders and about guns. And he went on and on with her about, well, here's some websites you might want to take a look at with some information. He said, you may not agree with me right off the bat, but I think if you do some digging, you'll get some information. And she came back, she says, well, I read the Trace newsletter every day, which is interesting on several points. Do you know what the Trace is? The Trace is an email newsletter. It's also a website that purports to be a non-biased look at gun crime in America. And it's a very clever effort. And it's funded entirely by George Soros. George Soros, who has funded several of the major gun ban groups in America. And let's say Soros and Bloomberg. And I'm trying to remember if this is a Soros or a Bloomberg effort. I can't remember. It may be a Bloomberg. I think it was a Bloomberg effort now that I'm thinking about it. So you got Michael Bloomberg, who funds the Mothers Against Everything, and America Needs Common Sense, basically, and how else can we ban guns, Inc. And so he created, and he's a smart guy, created this thing called the Trace. And it's just every day, it's sending out, quote unquote, news stories. It's a total fake news fabrication. It's a total creation. It's bogus from the beginning and the end, but it looks real. And if you don't know any better, it looks non-biased. It looks like a good source for information, which of course is what the idea is. Let's create this thing that people believe, and then we can move public opinion because they don't know any better. When you are talking with people about this, one of the questions you may want to ask them is, where do you get your information about guns and gun control and gun rights and gun crime and murder rates? Who do you go to? Because I think that might be a good part of the conversation. And without that information, I wonder if we can actually talk to each other. And of course, they're going to say, well, you just get everything from the NRA. At which point I say, well, actually, no, I will never, ever quote you a stat from the NRA. I know better. I'm not saying that it's not accurate. I'm not even saying that it's not right. I just know better than to use that because you won't believe it. So when I quote a stat or a piece of information, it'll be from the National Safety Council or from the Centers for Disease Control or from the FBI's uniform crime reports. And when you go to those, just to pick those first three, when you go to the National Safety Council, what you find is that gun accidents, fatal gun accidents, are at an all-time low. Not the rate, the actual number. More people, more guns, but the number of accidental gun deaths is at an all-time low. The accidental gun deaths of children is at an all-time low. When you go to the FBI, hardly a partisan pro-gun organization, you find that over the last 20 years, so-called gun crimes are down 50%. Murders are down almost 50%. We've had a slight increase the last couple of years, primarily in democratically governed cities. Yes, that sounded partisan. But, two things can be true at the same time. It can be true and it can be partisan. And it is true that the big cities primarily are controlled by Democrats, and that's where the gun crime keeps going up. Gee. Connection? Correlation? Causation? Don't know. But worth a look, right? The Centers for Disease Control, that one's an interesting one because people tend to believe what the CDC says. And so Barack Obama several years ago said, look, enough of this restriction on having the CDC be a pro-gun control organization, because that's why their funding got threatened some years ago, because they basically said, look, our goal is to make guns like cigarettes banned. We want to ban guns. And so we will crank out so-called studies that accomplish that. And Congress said, no, you're not. We're just going to strip you of the money you're using for that. And we're going to tell you can't do, quote unquote, studies with a political goal. Seems reasonable. Now, the left, of course, took that and said, well, now, they're prohibited from doing any kind of research on guns. Not true at all. Never was true. Total lie. They could do studies on guns. They just can't do it with a goal of banning guns, which is where they were. So anyway, Barack Obama orders them, okay, you've got to go do some studies on this because I'm lifting this. So they did. This is, 5 years ago now. What came out was somewhat reported by the gun industry and gun media like me, and completely and utterly ignored by the left, which means the mainstream media, completely and utterly ignored by the gun ban industry, because what the Centers for Disease Control said was this: we have reviewed the data that's out there and we can find no evidence that any gun control law has ever reduced crime. Let me say that again for you just a wee bit more slowly, because you can use this. The Centers for Disease Control put out a statement that said, we have studied this issue and we can find no data that supports the idea that gun control laws reduce crime. Well, so there you go. You got one side that's depending upon the Trace, Michael Bloomberg's group, simply putting out false information with the goal of banning guns, not controlling guns. Understand? I mean, they may say we want gun control because they learned the hard way that saying we want to ban guns didn't get them anywhere. We had the National Coalition to Ban Handguns. They figured, that didn't work. We have to change our name. We'll become the Brady Group. Yeah, the Brady Group. It used to be the National Coalition to Ban Handguns, or Handgun Control, Inc., which was actually what they were before. And then basically they went to gun control, and then, don't you love this, now they figured out people don't like to hear gun control either. So people don't want to hear you say you want to ban guns, and the public doesn't want to hear you say that you want to control guns. So what do they call themselves now? Yes, gun safety groups. Of course, for them now, you got to understand, gun safety means banning guns, get rid of guns, because they're safest when they don't exist. They've never taught a gun safety class in their life. They've never taught safe gun handling. They've never even taught gun avoidance to children, which is what the Eddie Eagle program is from the NRA. Tens of millions of children, young children, have gone through the Eddie Eagle program that teaches them, if you see a gun, stop. Don't touch. Leave the area and tell an adult. Stop. Don't touch. In other words, avoid this gun. Leave the area. Avoid the gun. Tell an adult. That's the anti-eagle program. That's gun safety. Oh, yeah. It's from the NRA. Let's go to line 3. Talk to Mark in Illinois for a second. Hey, Mark. Oh, Mark just dropped off. Sorry about that. Give you a holler back if you can. Doc is on 2. Hey, Doc in Oklahoma City. What's happening?
I've got an answer to your question of what do you say when somebody asks you how many guns do you own?
Sure.
The answer is, why do you ask?
Okay.
That if a person asks a question which is either unusual or rude, you have every right to know why they're asking that question. And if their reply is, oh, I'm just curious, well, you don't say anything. You just stand there and let that hang in the air. If they press it, you tell them that information is on a need-to-know basis. And if you don't need to know, I don't need to tell you. Now, if they come up with a, are you a gun enthusiast? Yes, I'm a gun enthusiast. I have a gun to sell. Would you be interested? Yes, all of that is good. But still, there's no particular reason for anyone except for the insurance agent to know how many guns you own.
Let me ask you a question. If somebody said, how many guns do you own? What do you think would happen if you said, well, how much money do you make?
It's the same type of question.
It's the same type of question. The answer, of course, is none of your business. But
right.
We're not allowed to say that. Actually, I am sometimes. I will actually say that. Or as I told MSNBC when they asked me how many guns I owned, I said, well, more than I need, but not as many as I want. Hey, I appreciate the call, Doc. 866-TALK-GUN is our number here, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Whether you are a first-timer or seasoned shooter, Double Star has the guns, edged weapons, and parts you desire. Our products are made in America and held to the highest quality standards. No exceptions. Double Star and Ace Limited manufactures products people bet their lives on without hesitation. That awesome responsibility motivates the Double Star family, and it will proudly protect yours. When you're ready for the best, join our family at star15.com. That's star15.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or gundealio.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Talk Gun, or just dial Tom Talk Gun will get you in here. A lot of things going on. We're giving away stuff as we like to do around here. We've got a new giveaway going with Brownells. They've got this very cool retro rifle. It's an AR-15, actually like an M16, but semi-auto. A 16A1 rifle. It's a clone of the M16A1. Looks like one of the original Vietnam-era rifles. Very cool stuff. You can look at that over on the Brownells website, brownells.com. But if you want to enter for a chance to win, go to guntalk.com/win. WIN. That is going to end. That giveaway ends on Friday, February 23rd. So you got to see the entry form for some restricted states on that, guntalk.com/win. There's another giveaway we just heard about. Springfield Armory is doing something over the next 2 weeks. It's a Valentine's Day giveaway. I love it. Valentine'sGiveaway.com, or singular, ValentineGiveaway.com. ValentineGiveaway.com. Let's see. They're going to, what? No. $5,000 in guns and gear. Yeah, okay. I thought I first read this. I thought it said 5,000 guns. That's not possible. No, $5,000 worth of guns and gear. Got to get Springfield Armory Saint, their AR, 2 Springfield XDS Mod 2s, holsters, belts, accessories, more and more. Again, ValentineGiveaway.com. 866-TALK-GUN is our number here. Let's see here. Doc, I believe, was able to get back with us. No, that's Mark, actually, on line 3. Mark is with us out of Illinois. Thanks, Mark. How you doing?
Hi. Tom, the anti-gunners out in Hollywood are trying to be conniving here. Uh-huh. They're bringing out a movie, I think it's the end of next week or the end of this coming week, and it's called Winchester. And I clicked on the thing to see, and it says the plot is that I believe the widow of the inventor of Winchester firearms is haunted in her house by the deceased victims of his product.
Mm-hmm.
That carries a nice little anti-gun theme to it.
Sure.
But of course, they're marketing it as strictly a haunted house movie.
Well, so what they'll do is they won't tell you the truth about what the movie's about in the trailers or in the promotion or anything like that, because once again, they know it won't sell. There have been a ton of anti-gun movies. Miss Sloane, 2016, bombed at the box office, didn't go anywhere. There was one. And it's interesting what they do here. One called The American President, and it's supposedly about an anti-gun movement from the president. There was one, if you remember the John Grisham book, Runaway Jury. Now, the book is all about a guy that gets himself onto a jury on a tobacco case. But when Hollywood got a hold of it, they changed it and made it a court trial about a major gun manufacturer. And then, of course, you've got the biggest fake movie of all time when it comes to guns, Bowling for Columbine, Michael Moore, who got an Academy Award for this fakementary thing of his. But here's the thing, and I appreciate the call, sir. Let me just throw this out. There is a group, small entity in Hollywood, and what they do is they pitch gun control ideas to TV and to the movies. They bring them themes and concepts and ideas, and here's an idea of somebody who bought a gun for self-defense and ends up getting used against them. And so they basically kind of sketch out the whole idea for the TV show, the episode, or the movie, and they are placing these into Hollywood and television. It's easy to do because it plays to their preconceived notion that there is no legitimate need for firearms. And, of course, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to move the needle of public opinion just a little bit. All you got to do is, if you could get it to go, well, let's say you could move it 0.2%, just to pick numbers. But you could do that 20 or 30 times. Well, you moved public opinion enough to make a real difference. So this is always going on out there, just kind of so you need to be aware of that. Don's on line 1. He's in Anchorage, Alaska. Hello, Don.
Hello. I'd just like to make a comment about the liberals, how they come up with wording. Mm-hmm. One of their wonderful ones is called Planned Parenthood. You would think, well, gee whiz, I want to be a parent. And it's just the opposite. You don't want to be a parent when you go there.
Planning to not be a parent, we will help you abort your baby.
Yes, and yet it's called Planned Parenthood, just like this gun safety deal.
Well, that's it. We're a gun safety group. Really, how many classes do you guys teach? Well, none. We don't teach gun safety. We teach people to get rid of their guns.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Let's get rid of something.
No, you're exactly right. I appreciate that. That's kind of where it is right now. Question is there anything we can do? Is there anything you can do about this? Well, of course, one thing you can do, of course, is simply not go to the movies and let them fail and let them realize that the American public doesn't want that. There is, and I'm switching on you, but it's the same thing. I'm going to try to pull these together for you. There's this huge, massive disconnect between the left and America. I'm not saying Democrats here. I'm saying the left, okay? The left thinks it is, and it's what drives the whole quote-unquote Russia investigation, all of that. At its core, they think it is impossible that they were wrong. They think it is impossible that enough people disagree with them to elect a president of the United States. So something must have happened. That's the only way that they can handle the idea that they are not in the massive majority. And clearly everyone knows that we must get rid of guns. And everyone knows that Donald Trump could not possibly be elected legitimately. And everyone knows that getting rid of guns or having more gun control is simply common sense. And as a result, this disconnect makes it impossible for them to actually understand that, no, for most of us, guns are just a tool. Most of the time, like 99.9% of the time, used for good, and occasionally they're used by bad people. But the fact that we, the good people, can have them, we save our lives, we save our children, we save our families, we save our mothers, we save our wives, we save our husbands. We use guns for self-defense 1 million times a year in the United States. Amazing stuff. They will never, ever understand it.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. You know, if you've been following my personal saga, you know we had a house fire. Actually, June 1. We've been out 8 months. We're starting to move back in next week. The house is quasi-finished. We've still got some things to do. But, yeah, we've been in an apartment for 8 months. And so we're moving stuff back in, and some of the recovered materials, some of the furniture and all were salvageable, get that moved back in. But one of the things that's happened in the 8 months that I've been out of the house is I got hooked up with the guys from Blink, the security camera guys. And it's so cool. I had them in the apartment where we've been staying. It's a nice apartment, but I had the security cameras from Blink in there. They're little bitty guys and easy to hook up to the internet and just stone simple. And so part of my plan is to move the Blink cameras with me and probably pick up a few more because I need a few more for the house, which is larger than this apartment. So I'll be picking up a couple of more, which you can do. You can just add more cameras to the whole system that you have. It's stone simple, really easy. The thing works like a champ. And I've had people tell me, Tom, you're not telling them enough stuff. This does a lot more than you tell people about. Yeah, I know. But it does have the motion detection. If somebody's moving around inside or outside your house when you're away, it'll alert you. You can see the video on your phone. You can see what's going on. You know when a package has been delivered. I mean, that's like the non-threatening thing. But you also know when there are people snooping around or, heaven forbid, somebody gets inside of your house. So it's a pretty cool system. So I'm going to be adding those. I had several reports from people who bought these and said, hey, we really like them. You're right. I'm glad you do. It's just one of those that once you get it, you go, it's a kind of forehead slapper. You go, wow, that thing works. Anyway, the guys at Blink have been working with us. They're pretty cool. They say you get 3 of their cameras for what the other guys charge for only 1, but you're going to get an extra 10% off with the Gun Talk code. So here's the deal. Go to blinkprotect.com/guntalk. That's blinkprotect.com/guntalk. When you get there, in the discount field, you type Gun Talk, one word, lower or uppercase, doesn't matter, and you'll get 10% off. blinkprotect.com/guntalk. In New Jersey, newly installed Democratic Governor Phil Murphy announced plans to reverse a policy from Governor Chris Christie that allowed more people to carry guns legally in New Jersey. Murphy, flanked by State Attorney General Grewal, Grewal, and addressing a crowd of gun control advocates, said that Christie's previous guidance was wrong for the state, which has some of the toughest restrictions on legal firearms in the country. So here you go. Quote, New Jersey cannot and must not become part of the race to the bottom on handgun carry that we are seeing across the country. My position on handgun carry has been clear and unambiguous. There are already, wait for it, too many guns on our streets. And adding more into the equation will not make New Jersey communities any safer. This is one of the tricks they do. They do not differentiate between criminals and citizens having guns. For them, if you have a gun, you're a criminal. You're going to do bad things with it. The mere fact that you have a gun tells them you are going to do bad things with it. So we have to reduce the number of criminals who have guns because only criminals have guns in their minds. So they conflate, is the word, put these things together so that they'll say, we can't have more guns because more guns are part of the problem. No. More criminals are part of the problem. That's our big problem. Good guys with guns save lives over and over and over again. They stop mass shootings. They stop school shootings. They stop mall shootings. They stop shootings everywhere. Good guys with guns show up and stop the bad guys. Good guys, every single day I'm seeing news reports of good guys. They just had a tow truck driver in New Orleans this weekend, shot a guy who was attacking him. It just happens all the time. But here's the one that I really like. The Attorney General said his office would move to tighten the rules, this is in New Jersey, as soon as possible, contending, quote, wait for this one, private citizens should not be able to carry weapons based on mere generalized fear. So what they're saying is, just saying you want to be safe is not enough. We don't really care that you want to be safe. And here's the other part. I always love this. Well, let's say, would you carry large amounts of money? So it would be okay for me to carry a gun to protect money, but not to protect my children. Money, yes. Children, no. We'll protect money, but we won't protect our children. That's immoral. Love this. The step by Murphy, who was backed in his election bid last year by gun control advocates from across the spectrum, was acclaimed by Shannon Watts, founder of Moms Demand Action. Well, she was the founder after Bloomberg gave her the money and funded the whole thing. She's just a puppet put up by Bloomberg. Come on, Moms Demand Action. Give me a break. You will see more and more of this as we relax and say, hey, we've got Donald Trump in office. We've got Justice Gorsuch on the bench. Why do we need to be involved? Why do we need to donate money to the Second Amendment Foundation? Why do we need to belong to the NRA? Why do we need to sign up more people? Let the good times roll. Things are good, except that in California, they're putting in a whole host of new gun control laws. In New Jersey, yes. Other states, yes. If we don't fight them everywhere, we're going to be losing almost everywhere eventually. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Let's see here. I want to go up to line 4. Paul is with us out of Palmer, Alaska. Paul, welcome to Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
I was on the road yesterday flipping through some channels, and I caught the tail end of a national news story that said the Las Vegas, the fellow who sold the ammunition to the Las Vegas shooter was arrested for selling armor-piercing bullets. There's got to be more to the story because I must have missed the memo on selling armor-piercing bullets. Can you have any information to share on that?
That's a typical mashup by media because they get all hung up on armor-piercing bullets, which, of course, there's no law against that unless it's a complicated deal. But basically, no, that's not what was going on. As I understand it, I'm still trying to decipher the mishmash of the news. I think what they ended up doing was arresting him for manufacturing and selling ammunition without a permit.
Okay.
Because I
knew there was more to it. I didn't catch that part.
Basically, he was loading ammo from. again, I'm getting this out of the media. There may be none of this that's true. Who knows? But it looks like he was loading ammunition and selling it. And if you do that, you are a manufacturer, and you got to have a manufacturer's license. Okay, so I think that's what's going on. But we may be able to uncover more about this. Again, I am highly skeptical and very reticent to pass along information I get out of the general media. All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. Looking for your range reports as well. And also, what do you do when somebody asks you how many guns you own? Or you can tell them the truth like me. I don't really know. 866-TALK-GUN.
For legendary Mossberg reliability in a compact package without the requirement of NFA paperwork, look for the Mossberg 590 Shockwave. Now available in both 12 and 20 gauge. These pump-action firearms feature a 14-inch barrel, a bird's head pistol grip, and a length just over 26 inches. Check out the Shockwaves at Mossberg.com. Mossberg. American built, American strong. Arm yourself with Mossberg.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
The FBI calls title fraud one of the fastest growing crimes. If you own a home or property, protect it with Home Title Lock, or you could lose it. Title fraud is when an identity thief steals your identity and transfers your home's title into his name. Once he controls title, he can borrow on your home and stick you with the payments. Your bank doesn't protect you, and neither does your homeowner's insurance or any identity theft program. Only Home Title Lock protects you. Home Title Lock forms a virtual perimeter around your home's title. The instant it detects suspicious activity, it's on it, helping to shut it down. Why risk losing everything when, for just pennies a day, Home Title Lock helps protect you? Protect your home and property with Home Title Lock, and be sure you're not already a victim. Sign up today to get your home's title history, a $60 value free. HomeTitleLock.com, and use promo code PROTECT. HomeTitleLock.com, promo code PROTECT. HomeTitleLock.com, promo code PROTECT. Oh, this is just sad. Not really. I'm sorry. I hate to take pleasure in someone else's downfall, but God, this makes me happy as all get out. The chief executive of the Humane Society of the United States has resigned on Friday after sexual harassment allegations against him prompted an uprising from staff and donors. Now, this is the guy that I have known for a long time. I've watched his progress. Wayne Pacelli. He was the face and the head guy at the Humane Society of the United States. He held on to his support from a majority of the group's board after he had the sexual harassment allegations against him. So the board supported him and voted last Thursday to immediately end an investigation into his behavior. In other words, this investigation is over. We are done. Nobody's going to talk about it anymore. We're done. That was on Thursday. 24 hours later, by Friday afternoon, donors and employees of the organization were distancing themselves from Mr. Pacelli, condemning the board's decision and calling for him to leave. Finally, he stepped down. Now, here's the deal. Make sure you understand. This is not your Humane Society that you have in your town. This is not the group that spays and neuters animals and pets. That's the American Humane Society. HSUS, the Humane Society of the U.S., is a marketing group, primarily. And they're an anti-gun group, and they're an anti-hunting group, and they're an anti-pet owning group. and they get lots of coverage, and they thrive on the confusion between the names. People think, oh, it's the Humane Society. I love the Humane Society and what they do for animals and pets. No. The Humane Society of the U.S., HSUS, is an anti-hunting organization. Thus, make no mistake, if you're anti-hunting, you're anti-gun, because the whole idea is if we get rid of hunting, then we can say, well, you guys don't need guns anymore, right? That's part of the deal. It's part of the package that's out there. So Wayne Pacelli has been the head of this group for many, many years. Excuse me. And he's been very effective, very slick. He's gone. He'll pop up again. Don't have any worries about that. He will return. Let's see. Line 2, Forrest is with us out of Colorado with an interesting question about gunpowder. Forrest, what do you got?
Well, hi, Tom. First of all, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How can I help you?
I used to do a fair amount of reloading, and then for some reason I got too busy and I didn't do any reloading. And I haven't reloaded for at least 20 years. And I've still got cans of 2400, 4350, Unique, and Bullseye.
Okay.
And it's been sealed in the can all that time with the cap on tight. Is it still good?
Where was it stored?
I believe in my garage, but it's possibly the basement.
Okay,
but my basement is dry.
Okay, so it's dry and cool. It never got hot.
No, it's cool down in the basement.
Okay. It should be good. I tell you what I would do. Because you're a reloader, and you know, and we, of all of our senses, smell is the one that we remember more than anything else. Pop them open and smell them. You know what these powders smell like.
Yes, that's true.
If you crank one open and you go, whoa, that's not right. Well, that's not right. It's something that's happening there. But if it smells like gunpowder, you're okay. I think you're good to go.
Well, okay, I'll give it a try.
Give it the sniff test. I think you're good. Now, a question, are you going to get back into reloading?
Yes.
Excellent. Why? What made you do that?
Well, I just thought I'd do a little target shooting. I recently acquired a 243, and I have no idea where from, either from one of my brothers who passed away or my brother-in-law. I don't know.
Sometimes guns just show up like that. It's strange, isn't it?
I took it down to a gun shop. I didn't even know what caliber it was. I thought it was a 7x50, whatever that is, and it isn't. And so the gunsmith checked it all out and came up with a 243, and he test-fired it and force-sighted my scope for me.
Yeah, so now you're going to load for it.
I've got a lot of coyotes, and I own a home in Arizona, which I'm moving to.
Okay.
And the coyotes are always after my chickens.
And the 243 is perfect for that. I love the line. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call. He says, I don't really know where I got it. You know, it's one of those deals of, honey, it followed me home. Can I keep it? Guns do that, you know. They will follow you home. Honestly, they really will. I knew a guy, I swear. His wife liked furniture and nice rugs and all. He would bring a rug home rolled up, and he would have a gun inside of it, slip his long gun in there. That's how he sneaked guns in and then delighted her with a new rug. Hey, whatever works for you, man. It's your life. You live it. You do what you got to do, okay? 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk. Coming up just a few minutes, we're going to be talking about basically the media and what you can do in terms of combating the anti-gun message out there. Also, a little bit later in the show, do you remember this girl group, singing group, Pussycat Dolls? We're going to have one of the singers from Pussycat Dolls right here talking about culture and guns. It's going to be fascinating. But first, let's take Bernard on line 3 out of Amarillo, Texas. Bernard, you got your air gun?
Yes, sir. It's a Air 17, And what I want to know is, it's a pump-up, and I got it at a state sale. I want to know what kind of oil to put on that pump.
The piston. Yep. I'll tell you what, there is a website that's devoted to nothing but air guns, and they are the sharpest people around on that. It's called Pyramid Air. It's Pyramyd. Pyramid with all Y's. PyramidAir.com. Okay. And I went in there, I just put oil in their search, and I get Crossman pellet oil. I get Crossman silicone oil. I get Air Venturi. I don't know which is which, but if you go to this website, it's got the phone number, and you call these guys. They're really smart on all things air guns, and just say, this is what I have. What kind of oil do I need? They'll say, okay, you need this, and they'll put the order in for you, and they take care of it. It's Pyramid Air, Pyramyd, PyramidAir.com.
Okay.
Good deal. I wish you luck with it. All right, you take care. Yeah, thinking about kind of what's been happening out here. Sometimes you need to slow down just a little bit. We put up a video. You know, we produce thousands of videos, but I would like for you to do me a favor. Seriously, this is a personal favor. If you go to our YouTube page, go to YouTube and look for Gun Talk Media, or you know what, you just go to YouTube and put in this, Idaho Passions. Idaho Passions. We did a video about my deer hunt last year and went in, and just a buddy of mine and I, we didn't take any crew, no TV crew, no camera operators or anything. We shot it with a GoPro, one little mirrorless camera, and 2 iPhones. I know it sounds goofy. But if you would go take a look at it, and I would love for you to call me and let me know what you think of it. I'm real happy with the way it turned out. It is slower than a lot of videos out there. It does not have rock music blaring. It doesn't have fast cuts. But what it really does is it's my personal look at hunting and what we're hunting for. And there's some pretty video there, and there may be a message that connects with you. But if you would, in fact, if you're able to right now, go take a look at it. Go to YouTube and just search for Idaho Passions. Look at that video. And then a little bit later in the show, you can give me a call. Let me know what you think of it. It was fascinating. Kind of went old school. Well, as old school as you can with a 308. Now it's old school because it's not the latest, greatest, and it's more than 50 years old for 308s. But for those of us who've been around a while, we kind of remember the early days when it was the new kid on the block taking over from the 30-06. Had an interesting conversation with somebody about old guns, old cartridges, and how, you know, if you wanted to, you could just say, I'm going to use nothing but 100-year-old cartridges. Think about that. 45 ACP, certainly. 45 Colt, 30-06, 7x57, 6.5x55. You could just say, I'm just going to, for all my hunting, for all my target shooting, for all my self-defense, 22 rimfire, obviously, I'm going to use nothing but 100-year-old cartridges. Now that would be interesting. You could have a little gathering out there. By the way, when we're talking about how do we combat this image that the media is putting out, Jim had an interesting thought. How about you have a charity shoot, raise money for good cause, and get publicity for it locally? If we do that times 1,000, times 10,000, then we're seen as the good guys and the good gals who are raising money for worthwhile purposes, and we're your neighbors who are doing good things. We're no longer those bad old gun people that you hear about. I'll tell you what, we'll talk a little bit more about what we can do and how we combat this constant negative message about gun owners when we come back. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.